All right, today the Congress of South African Trade Unions, that's COSATU, will be in Bloemfontein for the Workers' Day celebrations. The gathering will be addressed by its president, Sdumo Dlamini, while Bheki Ntshalintshali, the party General Secretary, will lead a march to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Formed in 1985 at the height of apartheid and oppression, the trade union is the biggest federation of labour unions in the country. Bheki is with us here in studio to just have a little bit of a chat on this Workers' Day. Good to have you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers at home.
So, when we look at the different events that are taking place, I mean, we read them in the news. So, the main event is in Bloemfontein. What will be the most pressing issue that you're wanting to put forward to the workers?
There's twofold in terms of approaching our May Day. Firstly, is to try to take a stock in terms of our achievement, but also to look as to what are the pressing issues moving forward. Of course, the issue of the economy, the question of unemployment, top all of them and say, look, our economy is not an economy that is inclusive, that is creating jobs.
Yeah, so that's going to be one of the issues that you want to push forward and try and sort of make a change. How? I mean, from COSATU's perspective, how do we change these issues?
Look, we have been involved in the NDP, and one of the sections that we're not comfortable one is the one on the microeconomic chapter as well as the labour market, because the focus, they clearly indicate that we're looking for lowly skilled workers, lowly paid. The problem with that one is that if you create jobs that are lowly paid, it means people can't buy the product that the business has to produce. As a result, everybody trying to save as much as you can is that the economy is not growing. So we have made some proposal in terms of the fiscal and monetary changes. What we don't have is an inclusive kind of engagement. That's why we're pushing businesses and government that we need a job summit to look more thoroughly, I mean, to let the experience of other countries who were in the same situation, because all our effort in the past have come to the same conclusions. Everybody knows what are the problem, but we don't have the capacity and the ability to create jobs.
Yeah. I mean, we remember and we cast our mind back to when Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa last year tabled an agreement for the minimum wage bill. But COSATU wasn't really in favour of this. We weren't supporting
No, we were.
it.
I mean, we were part of, in fact, we're the leading in terms of the national minimum wage. Has been our demand from our Congress. We're the
Absolutely.
first trade unions to do this thing.
Yeah.
But at the question of signing, there were some issues
Yeah,
that
there were issues there. What's the update
in terms
on
of them. For an example, no, we have sorted them out. One of them was that as a trade unions, before you enter into an agreement, you have to ensure that your constituencies is on board. So we said, look, give us an opportunity to go to our CC in the spirit of mandate and report back, and all those issues were then resolved in our central committee. For an example, the issues of 20 rand per hour, without linking it to the hours of work per week, it may be meaningless, because you will not be able to guarantee it, the 3.5 or the 3.9 that we're talking about. So the wording to us was very important, that you must have a 20 rand per hour. For 40-hour week, it gives you 3.5.
Yeah.
But for 45 hours, it's 3.9. So it was important that in the wording, we have to capture those sentiments, because otherwise it's meaningless that if the employer reduces the hours of work, you may still be rating the 20 rand per hour, but it won't meet the needs that we're trying to address in terms of addressing inequality.
One of the campaigns that you're focusing on this year, again, is e-tolls. That's something that's actually in your May Day campaign. What are you, again, wanting to push forward on this one? Where are we standing right now?
I think we're making some gains in the e-tolls. The Premier of Gauteng, when he was appointed, one of the issues that he tried to address was that the e-tolls are not for the economy, are not for the working class. We must change it. Unfortunately, that time was overruled by the minister, the national minister, who says the Premier has no authority to be talking about these particular issues. We have engaged the ANC. There's no argument against the abolition of the e-tolls. The citizens in Gauteng have clearly demonstrated to the ANC they don't like the e-tolls. So there's some political will, I think, from the ANC that they needed to inspect in dealing with those particular issues.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little on the issue that we've been seeing COSATU speaking about and battling with of late. As Some unions within COSATU are not wanting the president to address the main rally in Bloemfontein. Others are saying he is more than welcome to address. We are reporting that he is going to be there and that he will be addressing it. Is President Zuma going to be there?
According to the ANC, is going to be there. Remember, we did not invite President Zuma to our rallies. We invited the ANC. In the traditions of the COSATU in all May days, we invite 3 organizations beside itself. We invite SANCO, we invite the SACP, and we invite the ANC. Because there are many rallies, I think there are about 12 or 15 rallies. We ask those organizations and say, deploy as you want to deploy in terms of those issues. Of course, there are unions that have raised some concerns whether we're not putting a confusing message to the public. On one hand, we want him to step down as the state president. On one hand, we want to welcome him to address us. And the other unions were saying, look, we hear what you are saying, but it is the CEC that took those decisions, and only the CEC that can reverse the decision. So they're not just saying the president is welcome. They said, look, we hear what you are saying, but follow the right constitutional structures to review your decisions.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we've seen COSATU President Sdumo Dlamini has been heavily criticized for attending Zuma's birthday bash, despite the fact that his federation, which is your federation, said he must step down. There seems to be a lot of contradictions happening at the moment within COSATU and their stance on President Jacob Zuma. What is the unified call?
The CEC is unified in the debate that President Zuma, as a state president, he has not been performing well. He's not the face of the country. He has been involved in a lot of allegations from the Nkandla to the spy tape, coming out every time and apologizes that he must step down as a state president. On the question of our own president going in there was no decision. There was no decision that we should not attend. In any way, office bearers of COSATU were invited individually. And most of them, all the 5, says, look, they're not going in there. They are not going to go to the party. The president was not invited as the COSATU president, though in the rally was introduced as such. He came to us and said he has been invited as a member of the NEC in dealing with those issues. Of course, the contradiction was when he was introduced, which I think was either deliberate by those who were the pro-Bash, because the pro-Bash ended up as a political stance. That in that context, the president then introduced as a COSATU president, he spoke on behalf of the workers, which was not the mandate, because he was not attending that event as a COSATU president. Yeah. He tries to come to the meeting and clarify that he supports the COSATU decision. He can't change the COSATU decision, but it has not sunk well with the majority of people from the distance.
Just finally, the union really seems to be, the COSATU and many other unions, seems to be very, very entangled in the country's political matters at the moment. Where does this leave the workers and the interests of the workers?
The starting point, if you look to our May Day theme, is to build the COSATU engine. That first and foremost, if you want to be influential in the society, you have to be strong, you have to command power, you have to be able to listen. That's what COSATU stance have taken, that look, while we are interested in politics, but we need to build our organization first. We need to, when we speak and speak with one voice, when we approach the employers, we need to be listen. When we approach the political space, we need to be strong and united, which is something that is not there as yet. That's why we're on the face of building unity, building cohesion, so that the voice of the workers can be respected.
Yeah, we leave it there for this morning. Thank you for talking to us, Bheki. Now, as we say, you're going to be leading that march in Johannesburg, and that'll be going to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange.
Correct.
All right. What are you hoping to achieve out of that?
Look, we wanted to raise the issues of the investment strikes and really call upon the business people that it does make a sense for us, including them, to take an international tours to try to look for indirect investment. When people here at home are not investing in our economy, those people are asking, if your own business have no confidence in investing in South Africa, why should we do that kind of an arrangement? We've been engaging with some businesses. You remember there are streams with the president. There is an attempt to address the youth unemployment, but we think they are not coming on board enough. that's what call we're going to be making.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to us here on the program. Our guest here in studio was Bheki Ntshalintshali. He, of course, is the COSATU General Secretary. Thank you very, very much.